In 1916, a tunnel 120 feet below Lake Erie exploded. Workers hit a massive pocket of gas that formed millions of years ago, buried deep under the lake where more than 3 trillion cubic meters of gas sat like a ticking time bomb. And just before midnight, the workers struck an explosive pocket and got trapped in the gas. Any rescue attempts failed because anyone who went down there either came back unconscious or dead from inhaling the toxic fumes. But then this man named Garrett Morgan arrives on the scene wearing this strange hood-like mask that he had invented 2 years earlier. He went into the poisonous tunnel wearing that hood and successfully brought survivors back to the surface without inhaling any toxic gas. The invention was simple but genius. Morgan knew that carbon monoxide lingers at roughly the level of a standing person's head, whereas cleaner air lingers closer to the feet. So he designed the device to draw air through this long tube that hung near the ground like a tail, which then entered back into the mask like a beekeeper's helmet. Morgan became a hero until people realized he was Black. Morgan was self-educated and a brilliant inventor, often known as the Black Edison. After the Lake Erie disaster, Morgan's invention should have sold itself, but fire departments across the country refused to buy from a Black inventor. Lives were literally at stake, and Morgan's invention worked, but apparently racism was stronger than reason. So then guess what Morgan did? He hired a white actor to pose as the inventor, and Morgan played the role of his assistant at trade show demos. He had to erase his own identity just to sell this life-saving technology. And of course it worked. Morgan's safety hood led to the creation of gas masks used in World War I that saved countless soldiers' lives. Not only that, his gas mask became foundational to modern safety equipment now used by firefighters, miners, and industrial workers. But Morgan didn't stop there. He invented something else that every single person watching this video is familiar with. In 1923, he invented the 3-position traffic signal, which later became our modern traffic signal, and sold the patent to General Electric for $40,000, which in today's money is around $760,000. No big deal, just 2 revolutionary safety inventions. Morgan received some recognition in his lifetime, but nothing close to what he deserved.
Peace and blessings to the chosen. Shalom. First and foremost, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to the Icon, pushing his truth with sincerity and charity, risking their lives and freedom to do so. I'm the brother Yalad, and as you heard from the intro video, essentially what happens is Jake invents and Esau Pattons, and he had to sell his invention to be patent or give his credit to an Edomite or an Edomite company just for the benefit of the rest of society. So Jeremiah 10:16 says, "The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord Yahweh of hosts is his name." And this is just one case. This is just one situation. There have been many situations where Jake invents something and then Esau just steals the idea and then patents it and says that he made it. And the state of this world has allowed racism to pollute the minds of the people and say that these people cannot invent things, that they're not competent, that they're not they don't have a sense of eloquence or intelligence, or they don't have the ability to make a functioning society, when history, the true history, says otherwise. And you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the true children of Israel. It says Matthew 5:13, "Ye are the salt of the earth." Right, so we're the flavor of the world. This world will be boring and bland and tasteless without us. It says, "But if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and trodden under foot of men." So What good is our flavor if we don't give credence to the Most High Yahweh and His Son Yahweh Shai? What good is that flavor? Because that's what keeps us in order. Ecclesiastes 10:6, folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. So that inventor sat in a low place. Jake always been sitting in a low place in these past 400 years. Has been constantly sitting in the background when they are the inventors in the makeup of society. The Spaniards called the Mexicas, the Aztecs, and Mayans some kind of savages. But when you went to the cities of the Mexicas, which are the Aztecs and the Mayans, you seen they had aqueducts, they had clean water, running systems. They washed up, they bathed, they clothed themselves. They had soaps and oils. They knew how to put gold upon themselves and make weaponry out of it was a certain kind of metal, like a shard. The sword had like metal on the sides of it. But these were not savages, okay? They don't talk about that. They hide the wall of Benin from history. The British completely destroyed and bombed it to desolation. But some historians and scholars say the wall of Benin was a city that the walls could stretch so long enough that it could encompass the entire U.S. mainland. Because it was just a city with walls intertwining over and over like a maze. They hide this kind of history. And Jake is sitting in that low place of the history because these people have raped, robbed, and murdered their way into richness. The Edomites have done this thing. He is that dragon that went around and deceived the world by giving them Christianity, white supremacy, democracy, by giving them doctrines and philosophy of him being on top, of him being God. He gave you an image of a white idol and established himself to be somebody. And that is why it says, I've seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. And Lord willing, that'll be the thumbnail. Because Esau, Edom, uplifted himself, and every time Jake tried to do anything for themselves, he threw a monkey wrench in it. He called it. He sabotaged over and over. Dropped a bomb on Tulsa, Oklahoma. The what was called the Black Wall Street, because it was multiple Negroes with all kinds of trades and jobs of doctors and bankers, and these were businessmen who had a thriving city, while the Idumeans, the Edomites, were poor and impoverished. All the cities that they done flooded and raided and massacred and marauded, and then called it a race riot when it was a massacre. Jake was minding their business. The Red Summer, going from black town to black town, taking all of their wealth away, robbing them. And then the audacity to throw guns and drugs in their neighborhood and say, see, these people are savages. And this is what Esau is. He's the accuser of the brethren. But this is just one case. Jake invents and Esau patents. Esau, the end of the world. Jake, the beginning. Lord willing, this was edifying. I'm going to sign off at that and say shalom.